the Spiritpreneur Symposium. I'm Susie Beiler, and I'm here today with Kerry Samadhi. And I'm so grateful, Kerry, that you agreed to join me today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to know a little bit about how you started your spiritual business and started offering spiritual services.
Wow. That's a big question. It's a big question because that's like saying how did my life unfold to get me here?
Yeah.
And to keep it brief, I grew up with a wonderful experience of having a mom who was very spiritually aware, very spiritually open. And so as a byproduct of that, so was I. So we would have amazing conversations like UFOs and what color is my aura today, and can you please put your hand on my head because I've got a headache and you've got healing hands. This is what my mom would say to me. So that became my normal. That was my normal. And it was only when I went to school and out into the world that I would realize, oh, other people don't speak this language. You know, this is different, not strange. You see, none of it was strange, none of it was weird, none of it was new. This was my normal, best way I can say it. And so there was no question for me of what do you want to do when you grow up. Oh, that was obvious. Obviously, I'm going to be me, because that's what it wasn't like I'm going to go and get a job, and it wasn't like I'm going to go and work at being a spiritual teacher. It was just like, well, when I finished school, in my perception, it was the equivalent of getting out of jail. Then I get to just get out of jail and be me. So I realized then get out of school and that's where life begins. And my understanding of it was that I was then going to get to earn money by being who I am. And then somebody would say to me, yeah, but what are you going to do? And that would confuse me because I would go, oh God, I don't know. I've got to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be me. Isn't that enough? So it was a little bit of a wild introduction for me to take who I am, take my being and translate that into a doing. And so I didn't really know. I didn't know how I was going to do it. So it began, I did tarot card readings. And I realized, that's not it for me. And then I did healing and I realized, that's not it for me. And it's a funny story, believe it or not. I even did exorcisms. I don't even know how that happened, but it landed up that way. And I realized it was lovely. I actually really enjoyed doing it. But again, this isn't for me. So I was stumbling and fumbling through a whole lot of different modalities until I realized that when I really just express the truth of who I am, which I do best by telling people who they are. You see, the most natural thing for me, and it was just too obvious for me to even grasp at the time, but the most natural thing in the world for me to do is to sit with a person and see into their soul. And when I do that, when I see into their soul, I'm able to tell them, this is who you are and who you've been and why you're here and where you're going and how to get there.
So beautiful.
But you know what, Susie? To me, it was so obvious that I felt like, well, people won't want to pay me for that because everyone can. I truly thought everyone knows why they're here. So,
Kerry, I want to stop you there because this is a really important point for people going into spiritual work, not knowing how to set up their business, what to do in their business. It's the thing you do most naturally that you think everyone knows how to do.
Exactly, Susie, that's exactly it. It's the thing that for you is as natural as breathing. And that was my natural. And all the time I kept overcomplicating it and thinking, no, but I must give them a service and I've got to have them on a healing bed and surround them with crystals. And all of that was overcomplication. Yeah. And none of it was my authentic truth. So it took me years. It took me many years of fumbling and stumbling to eventually come into alignment with the simplicity of my gift.
So when you first started charging money in exchange for your spirit services, was that natural? Was that something you had to work through? What was that like for you?
It It was a difficult experience in the beginning because I didn't realize that my self-worth was directly related to my net worth. And so I believed, because I was really young, I was like 17, 18 doing this work. And I believed, well, you're not allowed to charge for spiritual work. I was in that mindset that said to me, you know, my work comes from source or God or the universe. So how can I possibly put a monetary value to it? I would diminish it if I put a monetary value to it. So I decided I'm going to do it the holy way. and I'm going to just ask for donations. And of course, you know, in my naivety, I believed people will donate. People's lives are going to change. And therefore, because their lives are going to change, they're going to donate what they can. And those that can donate are going to donate big amounts of money. And financially, I'll be okay. I can pay my rent. I can eat. Everything will be fine. And I didn't realize how naive that was. Because by charging donations, I was really saying, I was sending out a message. And the message is, I don't know what I'm worth. And because I don't know what I'm worth, you know, pay me, don't pay me, doesn't really matter. That was the underlying message that I was actually sending out at that time.
That is so common. That is so common.
Yeah.
How did you flip that? How did you really figure out?
I started listening to my clients having conversations, and I realized I had two ladies who were regulars. I would run like a weekly meditation group, and I had two ladies that were regulars. And I overheard this conversation, and the one said to the other, do you know, I went to such and such an astrologer, and I was on such a long waiting list, and I paid so much money to see this person, and you'll never guess what they told me. They said that my purpose is X, Y, Z. And my ears pricked up, and I realized, but I've told her that exact thing. I told her long ago, but she placed no value in what I said because I had given her no value, no monetary value, so it was worthless to her. She didn't take me seriously because I didn't charge her for it. And so that day, I realized I'm never doing donation work again. From now on, I'm putting a monetary value to what I offer. Why? Because it's valuable. It's life-changing. And I can't put in monetary terms the value of what I do because it's too big. But I realized that I had to at least put something there, something that made me feel worthy and that made a person feel that what they were getting from me was really, really worth having and really, really valuable.
And I have to say, as you're speaking about this, I can feel the holiness of that.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
It's a journey. And I wish that I had somebody to give me a video like the ones that you're giving to people, because it would have saved me years. Yeah. Literally years if this was available for me to learn. So you're giving people a phenomenal gift in opening up this doorway, because that's what I feel like you're doing. You're opening up a doorway for them and you're saying, come, I'll show you how.
Come on, step on through, you guys.
Yeah.
Do your soul work out in the world.
Yeah.
So as you provide spirit services for people, how do you maintain your integrity of what you're providing and then how you're living your own life? How do those things line up for you?
Right. Well, you've got to walk your talk. It's not even a case of, oh, I would like to walk my talk. No. It's a case of, if I don't walk my talk, if I step just vaguely out of alignment, man, the universe sorts me out. The universe shows me, no, Kerry, not this way, that way. You think you're doing it like this, but actually it's got to be like that. And it's instant. It's not in a day or a week or a year. It's in the moment.
Oh, wow.
And then I realize, I've been out of integrity somewhere. And so I've learned the hard way that sometimes my clients won't always like me. That was a big one to learn. In order for me to remain in integrity, I have to tell them the truth. Yeah. And sometimes they don't want to hear the truth. But how dare I give them anything other than that? So even if in the moment I'm unpopular with them, and even if in the moment they say, oh, I'm never going back to Kerry because they don't like what I said to them, that's the risk I have to take.
That's really strong integrity.
Yeah. And it's a non-negotiable. It's an absolute non-negotiable, because I would earn the karma or the consequence instantly. And I know that to be absolutely true. If I wasn't in divine integrity to the best of my ability with every client every day. And do you know what? When I do teaching, when I teach courses, I always open with telling people how imperfect I am, how human I am, how I don't belong on anybody's pedestal, because I guarantee you I'm not going to fall off. I'm going to belly flop off that thing. Don't put me on a pedestal. And I let them see my realness. I let them see, look at me. I am a human being, which is an alchemical balance of divine mastery and human fallibility, complete imperfection blended with complete perfection. We are all that, but it has to be on display. We have to allow all of these imperfections to be visible.
I think that's important from my perspective as a leader in this field, to really show people the real me. Like when you see me on a video, that's who I am. If you meet me in person, I am a little bit introverted, and I like my quiet and my space. So I might not, rush over to you and give you a big hug like my bubbly personality on a video, but I'm always going to be real.
Yeah.
You're not ever going to get a fake Susie. There is no fake Susie.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It's not what I'm here for. It's not what I'm here to do. And do you know what? It makes it fun. When I share my imperfections, my best thing to laugh at is myself. Yes. And so, courses become humorous and interactions with clients become humorous. It opens them up completely because they realize, oh, I'm just dealing with a human being.
And it gives them permission to be fully and freely vulnerable in themselves as well.
Yeah.
Which is really important. That's what we're trying to invite them to do.
Absolutely.
So tell me about some of your, or one of your favorite client experiences, someone who really had a big transformation because of working with you. Can you share what your favorite client transformation is?
It's such a good question, and my brain is racing, and I'm going, who's my best client transformation? I don't know. I've got so many. I've been doing this for 20 odd years. I've lost track. I think I'm just 22, 24 years. 24 years. So in 24 years, it's not one client, but it's a type of client that's my favorite. And it's the type of client who says to me, what do I have to do? And I say to them, this is what you're here to do. For example, you're here to overcome your childhood trauma, or you're here to step into your heart. And then they say to me, how am I going to do it? And I say to them, never mind the how. What I want to know is, are you willing? Are you willing? And then the client that says to me, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Oh, my heart sings, and I go, you are going to do it. You are going to do it. I can feel it. I know it, because you don't know. I was like that. I didn't know what I had to do in order to get where I am, in order to be here in the pioneering forefront of ascension consciousness, but I was willing to do whatever it took. So when I hear people using that language, I get so excited. And it's those people that have radical breakthroughs. It's those people who I hear saying things like, I remember, this is one of my favorite things to hear a client say, I remember. I remember who I am. I remember why I'm here. I've got it. I remember. And that makes my life worthwhile. Because nothing tastes sweeter than those moments of I remember. So to see another person stepping in there. I can hear the heavens singing. That's what it's about. So those are my favorite clients. I've had many. I've had so many of the I remembers, but they're normally the same people who say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So for those just starting out, or maybe people who have been a spiritpreneur for a while and are struggling getting clients, do you have any advice or suggestions? The biggest thing people want to know is, how do I get clients? How do I get more clients? Do you have any advice or suggestions for that?
Yeah. I would say be yourself that's your asset, is who you are. So you've got to embody who you are so fully and so completely, and be willing to do whatever it takes. Be willing to do whatever it takes to find who he or she is, and to really embody the fullness of you, knowing that that's your gift. Your gift is who you are and how willing you are to be that being. Because I think we've all been influenced by amazing teachers, amazing pioneers in our field, and it's tempting to use their language. It's tempting to try and emulate their words, their energy, their way of being, and it is a number one recipe for disaster. True. It's not going to work. It's going to work for them because they're embodying the fullness of who they are. You've got to find the fullness of you and embody that. And when you do that, I truly believe that you are then opening your own door to success.
What I'm hearing you say, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. Just what I wanted to end with was, and then you are really being a master teacher when you're in that fullness of who you are.
That's so beautiful. I want to make sure I have it right. I'm hearing you say that when you are embodying your truest essence and the being and the energy that you are, then those people who are matched for you to work with, your clients, they'll be able to see you and be in a magnetic harmonious resonance with you. Yeah.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. That's it. And so then you find yourself like I am. I'm in South Africa and I have clients. It's such a fun thing because obviously, as you and I both know, we've got time zones to work out when you and I communicate. And so I have clients all over the world, literally. And I think to myself, how did that person in Poland just find me? And how did that woman in Hawaii get my number? And didn't I just do somebody in Jamaica last week? And oh my gosh, that's another client that I've got in Canada. I've got so many in that area now. So those things, those synchronicities start lining up and start happening for you because you become a resonant magnet for the people who are aligned with whatever your truth is. So you don't have to find the people, you have to find yourself.
Yes. Now, I think this is worth a little bit more discussion because that's exactly what I've done. And it's taken years. And people want clients now. People want, I want to fill up my calendar now. I need to pay the rent. I need to make the money now.
Yeah.
And while I certainly understand that, there's also, this is a journey. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And so the way you are describing it and the way that I've done it, I feel like that's the way it's truly going to be sustainable. Because you can follow someone else's system for a little while and experience success. But it's not going to necessarily work long term.
No, it won't. And so, maybe you'll have 3 great months. Maybe you'll have 6 great months. But will you have longevity? Will you get to write that book that you want to write? Or will you get to really deliver the truth of what you're here to deliver? Chances are minimal. So the answer to that question is you as an individual have to do the work, your own inner work. And whilst you're doing your work, I'm not proclaiming for a moment to say, oh, I've done all of my inner work. No, we all are evolving, but you have to have done enough of your own inner work to bring you to that place that you can truly accommodate a person in their pain, in their trauma, and not be reactive to it. That's when you know you're ready.
Can you say that one more time? That was really important.
So it's when you see another person in their pain and in their trauma, and you find that you're non-reactive to it, that you're there to hold them, and you're willing to let them do anything that they want to do in that space, which includes not healing.
Yes.
Like, are you prepared to do that? Are you prepared to have a client sit in front of you, to watch them come to the brink and pull back? Because most of us want to go into rescue mode. And if you're prepared, and if you're powerful enough to really let that person express their sovereignty and say, no, I'm not ready yet, or full steam ahead, either way, you've got to be unmoved. You've got to hold no expectation for your client's outcome. So you've got to really be in that position where you're willing to allow them the fullness of their experience, whatever it may be. You see, we all want clients to be transformed, because that's going to be a great, calling card for me. Look at this person, they've healed their cancer. Or look at this person, they've healed their trauma. Maybe you're going to have a person leave your door that's not going to heal, because it's just where they are. Are you willing to allow them to be where they are, and you don't put your own expectation in there? You don't put your own rescuer in there. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for any of us, because we're so empathic.
Yes.
We want to step in. We want to step in and save and help and hug and love. And we've got to honor the individual that's in front of us.
Kerry, what you just shared with us was so powerful and so important. So I'm going to issue an invitation, those of you who are receiving from Kerry today, to rewind that part and listen to it again. Because you know what? To be honest, the only person I've ever heard talk about that was my mentor. I've never heard any business coach talk about it. And maybe just because I don't engage with business coaching anymore, but I've never heard anyone talk about that except my mentor. But that is like the foundation to how we can best serve people. So thank you for bringing that to this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for opening the door to this conversation.
It's been my pleasure, Kerry. Thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate you. I love you. It's so sweet to be in your presence. Ditto.
Ditto, my beautiful friend. It's so wonderful to be with you. And just thank you so much for opening this door for everybody else. You're amazing for doing this. Thank you.